Hi, I want to document how I mount trash bins on a kitchen cabinet door so that it can swing open and you have a trash can, and when you close, it just closes. A few things. One, I'll just show you how this works first. So you have a trash bin, a plastic trash bin, and on the door I have some mounting hardware that the trash bin that's molded to the underside of the trash bin. This has a hook, but basically there are hooks catching the trash bin both here and there, and they're molded to the shape of the bin, so you just drop it in and it helps secure. Very sturdy. You can press down on it. You can push your trash down to compact it. And when you want to use your trash bin elsewhere, you just lift up a little bit, move it elsewhere. And when you're done, put it back and it's back in place. It's working very well, and so I made another one, but I forgot some steps. So this time I want to record down all of the steps. So next time I do something like this, or someone else wants to do it, they can follow along. So if you zoom in on this hook, I'll show you. I'm taking the trash bags out, so it's just a few, and you can see it more clearly. Let me get my notes. So the first thing to do is so I think I'll just show you first. The mounting hardware are two side corner brackets that basically sets this way where you place the trash bin, and there are two horizontal ones. One catches the bin on the upper lip, and one catches the bin, the bottom lip of the bin. Both of these have little indents that allows the hardware to catch. And so the first thing to do is find a bin that fits in this space well. You have to decide how far in, how far out relative to the door, and how far up, how far down relative to the door, and find where you want to place it. So I have found this to be the right place, this to be the right bin size. First you find a bin that actually fits, and the position that it will fit. In this case, there's a garbage disposal. If I had the bin at this position, it wouldn't close. It would interfere with the garbage disposal. So I was limited to just this height. And then as you close, you need to watch that it doesn't bump into anything else. So in this case, that little bit of clearance is all I need to have it clear. Of course, you want to clear the bottom also. There is benefit in having it higher, which I couldn't do because of the garbage disposal. In this case, if I have mounted higher, at the bottom of the cabinet, you could still store stuff and not interfere with the trash can. But also, there's benefit for it to be lower. When it's lower, you can put oversized trash in this bin, and say family pack chicken leg, chicken drumstick, styrofoam pack would stick out to be about this high, and that would be okay. I can still close the door. When I need to throw the trash out, I just fold that styrofoam pack in, press it, and tie the bags over it. So once you find the bin, once you find a position on the door that allows it to open and close freely without interfering with anything, the next thing you need to do is find fitting hardwares. In this case, this is some scrap metal that I had from a door weather strip. And this just happened to fit this lip and be able to catch. For another bin, it might be different, and I will actually show you another bin right here. I couldn't find any more of this bin. I bought those almost 20 years ago. They're no longer in production, but I found these on Amazon. These are 3-gallon Amazon Basics, $15 or $16. I got 2 of these. The key things to look for any of these bins is, plastic injection molded bins that ideally symmetric. So you could mount it this side or this side, or this side the same way, because they have the same geometry on either side. That's one. And then for the bin usually have a lip like this that you can make use of to hook onto. And the bottom, it'd be nice to have a lip also. In that case, you could have something that hooks onto the bottom lip. And then once you find the bin, again, you find the right hardware. For both of these, I have found that I had a 2-inch corner brace to be the right size. On this one, this just happened to clear that little I guess trash bag holding little feature. If it were 2.5-inch bracket, then it would interfere with that. And then for this one, this 2-inch just happened to be right there, so that can you zoom in on that? So that when I drop it in, the 2-inch allows me to put a little JB Weld on top, and that the JB Weld will just fit in this little pocket that very nicely holds the trash bin in place instead of being sliding out off the hook. So that's that. And then you'll want to find something that hooks onto the center if you can, and hooks onto the bottom if you can. In this case, again, I use a piece of scrap metal that I had from some other project. In this case, the scrap metal, and because I have, in this case, a plank over here again. This one, I had basically a slab door that had some thickness that allows me to screw onto the door anywhere I want. That's one benefit for a slab door. Next time I do a kitchen, I might just want slab door. Whereas this one had these very thin 1/4-inch thick plywood in the middle. That wasn't enough to screw anything in and hold it sturdy. So I chose to use a piece of wood. So I cut a little piece of wood to the right depth so that it would fit under this lip. And then I screwed the corner bracket onto the wood and threw that onto the frame of the door. Here on the bottom, again, a piece of wood was trimmed to size that would be deep enough in this direction to catch, to come, to be under this lip, and so that I can put a little JB Weld, and the JB Weld, once formed, would catch that lip and hold it from falling out very nicely. So it doesn't come out this way because of all those hooking feature, and doesn't move this way also because of the corner bracket. Okay, so after you find the mounting hardware using whatever material you have, I have, while looking for it, I have thought I would just, so I give you some idea, I have thought I could have used something like this, trim it and screw it here and here to the door also, and in place of the piece of wood that I had used. Also, you could have maybe glued a corner brace, inside corner brace, maybe to the bottom of the door, and that would provide a lip that you can put the JB Weld epoxy on top. Okay, so after you have found the hardware that would work with your bin and your door, you draw a level line, like in this case, draw a level line and start trial fit your hardware against your door and bin. You can use a hot glue gun I'll just use this one to point, just a few beads of hot glue gun to hold the pieces together. And then you can lightly place your bin on these hardware that were glued down to check the fit, make sure everything works. For example, see how this angle is? You want this to be able to slide up and down, in and out freely. There may be some orientation, some kind of angle that would cause it to not be able to slide in and out as easily. So you have to watch out for that, and choose where to place your JB Weld appropriately. So in that dry fitting condition, you check for fit, and also think about where you need the JB Weld. A few well-positioned blobs of JB Weld, once formed by the bin, would hold it in place, prevent any slack, and would just hold the bin very well. It almost feels like it's magnetic. It fits so well and doesn't move at all. Okay, so in this case, in both of these cases, I chose to have a little blob of JB Weld at the end of the bracket, and then 3 little blobs for the horizontal. Okay, after that, and if you find that you need to adjust, you can break the hot glue and adjust and glue it back down. Once you are happy, you drill holes, pilot holes into the wood cabinet door, and you in both of these cases, because of the corner bracket geometry, I used a number 6 wood screw to screw these things down. The corner bracket had little chamfered hole that fits a number 6 wood screw perfectly. Number 6 flathead screws, and they would take a 5/64 pilot holes. I screw it down using a hand screwdriver, and once it's screwed down, in this case, I actually used polyurethane, a water-based polyurethane, to coat the wood because I don't want the trash stain the wood and not be able to clean up. So I coated the wood so it's wrapped in plastic, and then the next step is to and I forgot to do it on this door. I did it on this door. Is to get some plastic sheets. Cereal bag would work very well. You cut a cereal bag so it's a plastic sheet, and you would just place it where you will be using the epoxy, JB Weld, but you don't want the JB Weld to stick to the door. So if you make for example, cut a piece of plastic and place it here. In this case, I did not, so this is already, this gap is closed by the JB Weld. But you could have placed it here and maybe even through behind this piece of wood, and just tape it down. So I would stick it down, tape it on the side, so that when I put blocks of JB Weld on, it would not stick to the plastic sheet, and therefore not stick to the door. And after the JB Weld dries, I can pull this out, and the door would be cleared of the JB Weld. In this case, I forgot about it. JB Weld is now attached to the door. If I don't want this on the door anymore, I unscrew these two screws. I will still find this wood is attached by the JB Weld to the door. Same thing there. But if I had a plastic sheet, that wouldn't be the case. So JB Weld does not stick to plastic sheet, flexible plastic sheet. And I'm just using a piece of paper as an example, show and tell example. You will actually use a piece of plastic sheet. And JB Weld will not stick to WD-40. So what we do next is, after you identify where you want your JB Weld, maybe you want to mark it with a magic marker or something, you would spray the surfaces that you want to use to mold the JB Weld. Spray your plastic trash bin with WD-40. So in this case, I sprayed in this corner, sprayed around this bottom lip, and sprayed around this top horizontal edge, because those are the surfaces that I will use to push and form the JB Weld. And yet I don't want the JB Weld to just glue the trash bin down. Basically, use it as a release agent. Once you do that, the trash bin will be pretty greasy, messy. Find a piece of cardboard to rest it on and put it on the side. And then mix the JB Weld 2-part epoxy, make enough, and use some tool to apply it where you had identified a few blobs need to be. Give it sufficient amount so that when you press it down, it could squeeze it into shape and form to the plastic bin. After that, you basically, when you have the blobs on, you place your door on a chair. I placed it on a chair like this, so that gravity would hold this bin in place. Okay, so and then I put the blobs of JB Weld on. I carefully put the bin on, hopefully because you had hot glue dry fitted, and then screw it down. You know that it fits very well. You then just let it sit there, press it down, let it sit there. Maybe there are times that I find that at this time I can help shape the JB Weld wherever I have access. Like down here, I can press it down against the plastic bin. I can get a piece of paper towel. For example, this was all messy with had JB Weld drooping over it. I can wipe it off, so it's a clean piece of wood and looks clean and nice. And also, for example, here I could press, not with my hand, but use a piece of paper, cardboard or something. Press the JB Weld into that recessed pocket. There will be places where you just don't have access. For example, like these. Once you put the bin on, you just can't access, and those you just let it be. Okay, and then you leave it there for maybe 8 hours. At that point, the JB Weld is no longer liquidy, is semi-solid, but still is formable. So you could, at that point, use your finger to press these, form it, and it will not stick to your finger and won't fall off. And also, maybe that could be the time that you pull the bin up and flip it around and try the other side if you have a symmetric bin, so that you form the JB Weld blobs with both sides, and so that both sides would later on be able to nicely drop onto the formed shape. And then you just let it dry. It'll be overnight, 20 hours or so, and then you come and pull this whole thing off. Okay. If you pull it off too early while the JB Weld is still soft, maybe you have a big blob of JB Weld and the center is still soft, and you pull, and as opposed to releasing it from the bin, it pulled off with the bin. That's okay. Just put the bin back, let the whatever remains of the JB Weld dry, and then if you need to, you can come back and mix another little bit of JB Weld and fill that in, and then form that wet portion again. At the end, I have found both of these were symmetric, and they can be mounted both ways. But if it turns out that it's only able to mount nicely, snug fit one way, I would just put a mark on the front of the bin and say this is the front, so that the user is able to tell which face to mount the bin against the cabinet door. And that is all I have.